Last night we saw a feat that we have only seen 19 other times in Major League Baseball history, a pitcher reaching the 3,000 strikeout threshold. As Clayton Kershaw did it for the Los Angeles Dodgers last night. The cool thing about this with Kershaw is it's with one franchise.
Yes, really cool.
He's Dodger through and through.
Yes, he has been dominant his entire career. I think the really cool thing about Kershaw, though, is that we've seen him come up and grow up in the big leagues. 20 years old, he made his Major League Baseball debut, and I think that gets lost on us sometimes when you think of the great young star pitchers that we have now. Like Paul Skeens is 23 already.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he went to college. Kershaw out of high school, just fast track to the big leagues, and we've seen him now. Since 2008. Was his first year in the 17 years.
It's a long time, man.
It was his big league debut. Now, his actual clock started running the next year, but his strikeouts all counted, and he had 100 strikeouts in that first season, which is bonkers to think about at 20 years old.
For a multitude of reasons, we're probably never going to see this again. The number of innings you throw, how often you throw, longevity of career, you just don't.
And I remember we were saying this 10 years ago about a 300 strikeout guy.
Or a 300 game winner.
And 300 strikeouts in a season, though. Mm-hmm. It was we're not going to see that anymore. And then Kershaw did it. And then we saw it the next year. Mm-hmm. And then two times the following year. And then the next year. And the next year. And the next year. And we go through these cycles pitching-wise where I think we're starting to come back again to, all right, we've got to rely on these guys a little bit longer. Just like with stolen bases, right? The analytics swing so far in one way that all of a sudden it skews back to we're going to start seeing these guys ride a few more innings and be there for longer, because 3,000 strikeout pitchers, there's only 20 of them. But there's always going to be a which means that those guys who did that, baseball's 150 years old.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen very often anyways. So will it be a long time until we see it again? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But when you have just think of the young, strong arms that we have in baseball now that are pitchers, not just flamethrowers, mm-hmm. right? Whether it's Skeens or just look at the NL Central, mm-hmm. for example, where you have Skeens, Mizorowski, and Chase Burns, mm-hmm. right? Those three guys are just in the NL Central alone.
Monsters.
Then Green also in Cincinnati. You've got four of them who are young and really good. Now, the hard part is, will they be around for 17 years a la Clayton Kershaw? Yeah. Will they be able to have those years where a down year is 100 strikeouts, right? Which was Kershaw, and this is things Clayton Kershaw had 6 consecutive seasons of over 200 strikeouts, which is very good. He's also had seasons where he had 24 strikeouts, 43 strikeouts, mm-hmm. 62 strikeouts. And so not every year is going to be a 200-plus strikeout season. But can you stack the prime of your career like Kershaw did, where he went 248, 260, mm-hmm. 300, 229, 241, and have that 6 years just be as strong as you possibly can? Yeah, probably.
And then have another decade around it.
Yes, where you're having between 100 and 150 strikeouts. I mean, that's a lot to ask for, but that's why guys like Clayton Kershaw are generational talents. Mm-hmm. And I think we got spoiled because of the amount that we had in one run, in the 80s and 90s, where those 3,000 strikeout guys were just piling them up left and right. But you look at it now, there's an influx of young pitching talent that if they stick around, mm-hmm. sure, it could happen. But injuries derail guys like Steven Strasburg, yep. and every other guy that we think could be the next one to do it. Happens all the time. I'm not going to say I'm not going to say we're never going to see it again, because analytics will swing back, generational talents will come through, and who's to say that, the next wave of analytics and pitching data is, we can pitch a guy, he's not going to go complete games, but if we pitch him 6 or 7 innings, we can pitch him more.
Mm-hmm.
And when we have a generational talent, and it can elongate his career and we can get more games out of him, then you're looking at it saying, well, that generational talent will be able to get to 3,000.
It's going to be interesting.
It's different, but
if I was betting, I would say we aren't going to see one for a very, very, very long time.
I would agree with, the data will tell you it's going to be a really long time, because if you look at the guys who are, Clayton Kershaw had 1,400 strikeouts when he was 26 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because he made his major league debut at 20. So when you think of it in those terms, we only have like 2 guys that are even around that.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is Tarek Skubal, who's 28 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not 26 years old, but he's around that strikeout. But like guys like, was it Garrett Crochet from Boston? Dude has 144 strikeouts
already
right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's 26. So, like, it's going to be really hard, but he's playing catch-up because he didn't debut at 20.
No. And that's the thing. You need
strike out 100.
The perfect, confluence of different things all coming together at once.
Right.
And it was already difficult, and in the modern baseball game, it's, at least currently, is significantly harder. Now, you could have ebbs and flows and changes and all those things. Clayton Kershaw didn't also only debut at 20. He debuted at 20 when complete games were still normal.
Yeah. Yeah, they were starting to limit guys, but yeah, it was. And look, his strikeouts, as you go down his list of his seasons, like, he had his last season of 200 strikeouts was 2017.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while. Yeah. And so just think of it, if you can get guys like Crochet, right? If he's stacking 200 strikeout seasons at the beginning of his career, then you go, all right, can he get 150 the rest of the way in the back end of it? Because Kershaw has got, was it 1, 2, 3 of his last, well, actually 4, 5, 6. His last 6 seasons, he hasn't struck out 150 batters. Right?
But longevity matters.
Yep. And 3 of those have been under 100 strikeouts, including, 2024, he was hurt.
Yeah.
24 strikeouts. Right? How long can you hang on?
Yeah.
And that's where being a generational talent, being a workhorse, one of those guys is going to come through. It's going to be few and far between.
And appreciate them when they're there is the big key takeaway.
Oh, yeah.